Hi there, this is Laurin from Laurin Films, and welcome to a random review. Today's random review comes from Germany in 1989, and it's Laurin by Robert Siegel. This is on second run Blu-ray. It's only about 84 minutes, doesn't need to be any longer. As always, the second run comes with a nice little booklet. And it's a beautiful film. It's the director approved HD presentation of the uncut film, which is both in an English language and a German language version. I just watched the German language, of course. There's interviews with Dora Schnetzter, that's not her real name obviously, who stars as Laurin, who looks like a young Sarah Polley, and Barnabas Toth, and cinematographer Naika Yanko, who is the son of Milos Yanko, the famous filmmaker. There's a wonderful video appreciation by Jonathan Rigby, so you can kind of tell what sort of film it is. There's a making of, which is an archival documentary, and there's 2 award-winning short films by Siegel, The Christmas Tree from 1983 and Coriona 21 from 2021. And as I said, 12-page booklet. It's another wonderful release from Second Run, who we don't talk about enough. I can count on one hand the number of Second Run titles that haven't really clicked with me, but that's not really Second Run's fault. That's completely my fault. This is a wonderful gothic film in colour, set in 1901, and it's all about voyeurism and child killers, or little boy killers really. There's black kites and black dogs and ruined castles, candlelight. There's a wonderful performance by a black dog. There's a nice turn by a white kitten. It has oversized crosses everywhere. When the children are in school, the classroom has a stuffed sloth in the classroom, which is just a lovely touch. It's full of Bava lighting. Obviously, some people of a certain age would say it's Argento lighting, but it's Bava lighting. Beautiful reds and greens and purples. It's a very painterly film. There's a scene with dawn at the pier when all the sailors are prepping their boats, and it does look like one of those romantic paintings. So as I said, the film is about family. It's about a little girl whose father goes off to sea quite a lot, whose mother dies in an accident early on in the film, and little Laurin has to adjust to life just with her grandmother as the father just runs away basically to the sea. Oh, the pull of the sea. No, you just want to get away from your commitments. And her, Laurin and Stefan, her little friend who gets bullied at school, kind of build their own little fantasy world. And a character comes back from the military and becomes a new schoolmaster. And he's the son of the local fire and brimstone preacher. This film's fairly anti-religion, which makes it wonderful, because we realise the pastor's got some secrets as well. But again, I'm not going to go too much into the plot details, because this film is all about atmosphere. It's absolutely beautifully shot by the son of Milos Yanko. It's got symbolism everywhere. As I said, there's oversized crosses, white kittens, black dogs, storms. Bad things happen with the storms. There's obviously lots of religion, lots of sin, lots of village secrets. There's odd statues of featureless little boys. There's underground layers. It's just full of odd things. As I said, there's a stuffed sloth in the classroom, which is just one of the best things in a film I've seen for a wee while. The killer is killing little boys. There's lots of people watching other people through windows, and popping their heads through windows. The scenes of people watching people bathing through windows. The film isn't 18, obviously, because of the kind of child murderer themes and the little boy themes. Dora Shinstar, again I'll pronounce her name a different way every time, gives a great performance. She's very wide-eyed, but she does have inner strength, and she's fantastic. In the climax of the film, the actor who plays the military man who comes back and becomes the teacher gives a wonderful performance. There's great faces in the film, and Siegel uses them wonderfully well. Again, I'm avoiding plot because it is all about atmosphere and feel, and it does just have a beautiful look, and it's all about the relationship between fathers and sons and daughters and mothers, the relationship between myth and symbolism, and the importance of nature, whether it's animals, storms, winds, and obviously there's some nice black kite action of this kite that doesn't seem attached to anything but will suddenly appear, and the black dog that will suddenly appear carrying various items of import. It's just creepy, voyeuristic, atmospheric, painterly. There's a wonderful scene at dawn when all the sailors are filling their boats before they leave. It's just a beautiful fresco. It did remind me of a little bit of some of the shots in Bondarchuk's War and Peace. It's got a great finale, and it's just absolutely fantastic. I mean, you could argue there could have been a black and white version of it that would have almost been just as good, but the colour version is absolutely stunning. Again, second run do a really good job. As I said, there's a great piece by Jonathan Rigby that you should probably watch after the film, of course, because it goes through pretty much the whole film, almost scene by scene. And he does a much better job of going into the themes and the influences than I do. Certainly it's a film that has lots of elements from other horror films or other filmmakers. Jonathan Rigby mentions the almost Carpenter-like score, and obviously Bava lighting is all over the shop. But it's a film that manages, despite its influences, not to come across as a rip-off of those influences. It actually stands on its own 2 feet. And again, as Jonathan Rigby says, this in 1989 in Germany, nobody was making films like this. Nobody was making films like this really in the world. The kind of gothic horror thrillers. Again, it's not really a horror film, it's more of a serial killer film. but it stands on its own 2 feet despite its influences, unlike certain other films that have all these influences that you can see, and that's all it is. It's just, one influence after another thrown together. This actually is fairly unique and stands on its own feet while having those influences. So it's another wonderful release by Second Run. Again, this is a deliberately short review because I'm not going to go into the details of it as far as plot's concerned, because it is a film that you should watch. I mean, I was going to wait until it went on sale and went down a bit, but I just thought I'd heard good things about it, so I just bought it, and I'm glad I did. It's another Second Run home run, if you will, and I would highly recommend it. So that's Laurin, or Laurin, from 1989, can you believe? And it's excellent. I would highly recommend it. Not that numbers matter, but I gave it 5 out of 5 because it is just absolutely wonderful. So thanks very much for watching this random review. Please let me know if you've seen Laurin and what you think of it, and hope you'll join me again for more random reviews. This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, saying farewell.